All right, so I am going to show you how to make whoopie pies this afternoon, the easy way. Basically, the first step is going to be, we're going to make the actual cookies on each side, the cakes, if you will. So first, we're going to turn on the oven and get that preheating. We're going to prepare the cookie sheet. This is for cooling the cakes afterwards. So we're going to, I use wax paper. It's just easy. Cover it that way. I don't have to clean the cookie sheet, and I don't have to worry about them sticking on. Now, the other thing I do is half a box. I use half a box of, as you can see, this was on sale. They were getting rid of it. And if you look, there's 432 grams cake powder in here. Turn on my scale. I suppose you could double the batch and use the whole box, but I don't do that. So I just go and look for 216 grams. Reuse the salsa jars. Amazon salsa jars are great. You will see. I do this. Perfect size. Smells good. Yep. Extra in there. Not that it really matters that much, but there you go. So now I just set that aside, put it in the fridge, whatever. It's good for making whoopie pies the next time. Now I get a mixing bowl. Don't need the scale anymore. I put the other half of the mix straight into the bowl. And I'm going to use a fork. Again, you don't want to over mix this. So I'm just going to use a fork. I've got a 1/4 cup of cold water and an egg, which is at room temperature. See? I'm just going to mix that with the fork. It's going to make a really thick cake batter. It's really thick, and that's okay. Almost like too thick for pancakes. And I'll show it to you before it's almost like a fudgy. I've seen some people that count how many times they beat it. I don't do that. I just see. So I give you an idea of the consistency. And then I use a tablespoon. And I put the cakes onto the cookie sheet, which I will do right here. I try to get everything off the fork. I suppose you don't need to do that. So I do about a rounded tablespoon. And if I recall correctly, this usually makes I don't know, enough to fill the sheet, I guess. I do really try to use a tablespoon and clean off the sides here. I try to make them all about the same size because you're going to put filling in them. So you want them to be pretty much the same size once they get taller. I do recall sometimes where I've made more than 12 cakes. And these are going to expand, so make sure you leave enough room all around them. Ultimately, we're shooting for an even number. So if you don't have an even number, I suppose you can make a test whoopie here. Typically, I guess it makes 10, so that's perfect. It's 5 whoopie pies right there. You can just sort of shore up anything that looks a little smaller with a little extra cake. I have had some occasions where cakes don't really rise, they sort of spread out. I'm not sure if that's because not sure why that is. You see here, there, I think it might be just too much water. So maybe I'd go on the shy side of a 1/4 cup. Okay. All right. There you go, find a kid to lick out the bowl. I don't know if you heard, the oven's up to temperature, 350 degrees. I'm only going to bake it for 12 minutes, and I'm going to take a look and see if it's cooked. Okay, so I set a timer for 12 minutes, and we'll take a look and see what they look like. I'll pause the video, and then I'll come back. All right, so the timer's about to finish. I took the opportunity to clean up the dishes a little bit and get everything ready to make the filling. Let's see what the cakes look like after 12 minutes. Really, yeah. I could have made them even smaller and that would have been okay. All right, so we're done with the oven. Don't need to turn it on anymore. Turn that on. All right, so we're going to let these cool for a minute and I'm going to put them on the rack. Let's see. Actually, let's try that. See if we can do this magic on camera here. All right, so we're gonna cool this off. All right, once these are cool, I will show you how to make the frosting and we'll frost the whoopie pies. Okay, so these have been cooling for about 10 minutes and I'm just gonna make sure that they can all come off of the thing here. Add. All right, I'm actually going to set these aside and make the frosting. These are cool enough. Warm, but cool to the touch, okay? So basically, I put the mixing bowl right on the scale. I'll turn the scale so that you can see it maybe. You can't really see it. What if I do this? All right, well, I'll just do that. Okay, so I am going to do 240 grams of confectioner's sugar, also known as 2 cups. I did the math to see what that would be. Grams. I like to weigh stuff like that. It's easier. Okay, a little bit extra, won't hurt anything. Exact science, I got 244 grams. Back. All right, and now I've got fluff going in, and the fluff is 416 grams of fluff. Now, no matter how I do this fluff, it always sticks to everything. It's terrible stuff. So I'm going to reset that to 0 and go 416 grams of sticky disgustingness. That's 20. That looks like. Oh my goodness, I think I doubled the recipe here. Grams in the whole container. All right, I did the wrong math. Only 100. All right, well, we're gonna guess because my math must be off. Because there's only 198 grams in the whole thing. So 1/2 cup. Well, we've got enough fluff then. And then some. Can I take some back? I'll take some back if I can. 1/2 cup. So I would say I can at least take that much back. Maybe so much of that. You can certainly eyeball it. It is not a science. All right, so there. Okay. So you only got 1/2 cup of marshmallow fluff and 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. So that looks like that right now. And I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of softened butter, and you can see it's very soft. See, I put a dent right in there. Okay. And I have 2 tablespoons of milk and 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. I'm going to put that all in here. Oh, the maple syrup is not coming out, so I'm going to help it come out a little bit. Put the milk in first, but apparently the maple syrup decided to hang out on the bottom. So a little extra maple syrup never hurt anybody anyway. All right, so now I've got my mixer. I just use a hand mixer for this. And what's interesting about this mixer, it's pretty fast. It was literally like $1 at the Goodwill store, but hey, you can't really beat it. So let me try. Just to show you what's going on here. So you see how the butter is starting to turn into frosting. As it gets thicker, you can sort of turn. It's starting to look like frosting. All right, and that's it. That's all it takes. So now you got our frosting. We got our whoopie pies. We're going to make whoopie pies. I usually use, you could really use anything, but I use this. This works pretty nice. Oh, you take off the cakes. What I usually do is try to kind of, you don't have to do it ahead of time, but I like to try to find the pairs that I'm going to frost together. Oh, and did you notice how that the whoopie pies kind of spread to each other? So That's pretty good. Try to get them so that they turn together. Another one. And I like the wax paper because I can just throw it away. It makes cleanup super easy. That. All right. All right. There we go. Okay, now this is going to make 5 whoopie pies, this recipe. All right, so there is no real science to how much frosting you put in. It's really a matter of personal preference. My dentist says she doesn't frost the whoopie pies. She makes the people frost their own, her kids. So, and that's a whoopie pie. Let's put it right in a bag. And then I chill them in the refrigerator before I eat them. And if I have extra frosting, I dip the whoopie pie in the frosting when I'm eating it and use it up. I'm just putting these in sandwich bags. You could use, I've used plastic wrap, anything to just keep them clean, and good way to store them in the fridge. They don't usually last too long, so. Especially with Nate and Isaac around. This is what it looks like. Let's do this. And last one. I'm not going to have too much frosting left, so I would say it's just about right. I'll make that one nice and thick. If you get any on your fingers, easy cleanup. All right, that's it. All done. All right. This up. So really, the last part is to put them in the refrigerator until they're cool and then eat them. I hope this helps inspire you to make them yourself. It really doesn't take a lot of time. Good luck.